Hey guys, Noel here, and it is, what is it, Thursday night, the night when I used to watch Hulk Hogan on TNA Impact. We're going to go live. Wife and kids are asleep. I have a cup of coffee right here, and I wish it was a better occasion for a live stream, but my childhood hero, that, I never met. He's a lot of people's childhood hero, but Hulk Hogan, as I do the peck dance like he used to do in the Real American music video, he has passed away. And yeah, it sucks. It really sucks. I never knew my father. And I grew up with very inconsistent male role models, and I always looked at the image of Hulk Hogan and the character of Hulk Hogan, whether he was Hollywood or, red and yellow fighting the Dungeon of Doom. He was just like just a role model that I looked up to, and I don't care that people find his political maneuverings unpalatable in terms of how he conducted himself backstage at professional wrestling. He did some good things, he did some bad things. It's a very cutthroat, carny world. It's not an excuse, but that's the context for what happened. It's not like everyone was walking around being just totally altruistic people, and then there's this, a selfish piece of shit Hulk Hogan. It's like, no, the guy who everyone said was the best of them murdered his wife and kid. So, say whatever you want about Hulk Hogan, he's no Chris Benoit. A guy who most of the smarks who are, being just kind of ghoulishly disrespectful today, are, going off in comment sections, just being total pieces of shit. Hey, Noel, watching this from my job during a break, I heard what happened to Hulk. May he rest in peace, brother. Yeah, man, Diego, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. It's actually been really nice because I've always been about that life. Hulk Hogan, everyone knows that, Hulk Hogan is, one of my favorite people. And so people have been, really nice and just like, hey, man, how you doing? And it's like, it sucks, I'm just a fan, but I can imagine what it's like for his family and friends and things like that. I have a lot of stuff that I want to talk about as it relates to, Hulk. For a quick upcoming YouTube video, me and Retro Zoltan are going to be uploading this review on the Hulk Hogan Tiger Electronics action figure right here. International channel. Thanks for stopping by, brother. I appreciate it. John, how you doing? White Tiger, how you doing? I don't even know where to start, because I have a lot of stuff I want to say and I want to talk about. Where I'm wanting to start is to start yelling at stuff that I've seen online today, from really just gutless pieces of shit, it is when you become very popular, it's hard for me to, because of my personal connection to Hulk Hogan. Yeah, dude, Hulk touched a lot of people, and, he is a very complicated figure. Professionally, he is the, die cast of the whole genre of professional wrestling. He is literally the mold in which professional wrestling is built. Hulk Hogan's death is bigger than Colbert and Epstein and Obama combined. It's true. fuck all those guys, man. Colbert is a CIA asset along with Epstein, and Obama is a political hack. I mean, yes, it's noteworthy that he's the first black president, but he played ball with the rest of them. So, Colbert's there to, give Adam Schiff a platform. Epstein's there to blackmail people, and Obama's there to, give a kind of a black face that makes liberals feel good about themselves as the United States goes and bombs other countries. So, Hulk Hogan is the spirit of the working class, and he is just the most iconic, face, the most iconic heel. He literally just created the 1980s genre of professional wrestling, that kind of muscular, patriotic, flag waving, American ideal kind of superhero style wrestling that Vince McMahon knew how to promote. Hulk was the vehicle for all that, and nobody did that better than Hulk. And then when he turned into Hollywood Hogan, that totally set the mold for the edgy, kind of apocalyptic wrestling of the late 90s and early 2000s, that, the NWO is the most iconic thing, most iconic group in professional wrestling. And from that, the NWO, spawned the Attitude Era and things like that. So, Hulk Hogan was bigger than the business for 25 years easily. And, his professional contributions just can't be overstated. And, and he was huge in Japan too. He was the first IWGP champion. He was Ichiban. He was a celebrity over there. And, he just, I don't know, man. He was the Michael Jordan, the Babe Ruth of professional wrestling, the Michelangelo of professional wrestling. Just his body of work is second to none. And what he meant to a lot of people is, very, 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 very important. Because like I was trying to say, like early on, like I didn't have like guys to look up to, I was just stuck at home with my mom, who was dealing with a whole bunch of stuff. And, I looked at, strong people, like strong men like Hulk Hogan to, help me to see a path to become a man, and just, I don't know, just have someone cool to look up to. And, his personal life, along with a lot of other people's, is filled with mistakes. And his professional life backstage is also filled with mistakes. Hulk Hogan is very much a product of the world of professional wrestling. A world that, the kind of the kind-hearted working class turns to for, it's like theater, it's aspirations, it's entertainment. And, so he's, got one foot in that world, and, the other foot is in just the cutthroat world of gypsies, tramps, and thieves. And, and American celebrity, and you absolutely have to learn how to separate the art from the artist. And even the artist, I think, compared to a lot of people, wasn't even that bad. Obviously I didn't know him. The worst thing I think I've ever heard about Hulk Hogan is that, he died estranged from his daughter, and that, Brooke, I think I'd read that she tried to reach out to him after she, nearly died during childbirth, and he just rejected her. And that's a very cold-hearted thing to do. And that's a very terrible thing to do. And I say that as a father. Like, I could never, and I say that as someone whose, grandfather, disowned him for a little bit, because my grandpa and my mom were, fighting. And so then, like, that was another male role model that left. Thankfully, my grandpa came back and he ended up being extremely important to me. But, Hulk Hogan, that image of Hulk Hogan was always stable, while, my real life was just kind of a roller coaster. I always just could, like, kind of look at, like, oh, Hulk Hogan, he's cool. So, he meant a lot to a lot of people. And, like, when you get to be really popular, people, like, shit on you because it's fashionable to shit on what's popular. Like, I'm like I'm anti-mainstream. I like the stuff in the margins. You're just, banal with your, you're they, you just like what the herd likes. I'm so deep, and it's just such bullshit, like, I mean, Hulk Hogan, like, people say, like, oh, he can't wrestle, he doesn't know how to work. I'm all about, like, Macho Man. I was like, I love Macho Man Randy Savage. He's awesome. But when people try to act like Hulk is a bad person, when, like, Randy Savage, by various accounts, was legit locking women in closets so he could, like, keep eyes on them, and was just sadistically and, like, totally unhinged in terms of his, not sadistic's not the right word, but just like, abusive in the way that he just controlled women and, things like that. Like, locking Gorgeous George in a closet, putting, surveillance cameras all over the house and stuff like that. Like, I mean, he's the good guy, like, or I don't know, like, people, like, I mean, Ric Flair did a beautiful tribute to Hulk Hogan today, but, Ric Flair, by various accounts, has not always been, on the up and up in terms of his racial rhetoric or the way that he's treated people or things like that, so, so it's like, there have just been a lot of people I've seen in comment sections that have just been like, oh, rest in piss, and like, I just, every time I see something like that, I'm like, well, good. I mean, you've now set the standard that people can talk shit about you when you die, at your funeral, you think it's okay when somebody dies to, shit on them. It's like the standards you apply to others are going to be applied to you. So when you're there sitting in a casket, by all means, feel free to roll up and say that this person was a fucking piece of shit, and just, thank God he's in the ground so nobody else has to deal with him, because that's the kind of, if it's okay to say that about Hogan, it's okay to say that about you, man. So enjoy. So, I mean, obviously we need to be better than people, but, like, Rick Roderick, the philosopher, he always says the most dangerous set of standards are your own, because those are the standards that are going to get applied to you. So, just like, what kind of person are you? So let's say, like, the person I really just can't stand most in the United States is Dick Cheney. And I think George W. Bush is an idiot, and just these neocon imperialists who just create wars of aggression for U.S. treasure and utopianism. If, like, Dick Cheney died, like, I would just keep my mouth shut, like, I mean, like, what kind of person are you that when, like, somebody dies, you have to draw attention to yourself by, like, shitting on their grave? Like, what kind of fucked up person are you? Like, I mean, seriously, I mean, like, you are that maladjusted and warped, like, so right before I came on, I was on Instagram, and for whatever reason, Jacobin magazine had something. It's like, in honor of Hulk Hogan's death, here's Jesse Ventura talking about how he busted unions in wrestling. It's like, fuck you guys. You guys are named after a murder cult. Like, you're named after Robespierre's, political party that guillotined people in the thousands, and you're gonna bitch about Hulk Hogan not wanting unions in wrestling when you're named after a mass murderer, you fucking pieces of shit. Like, what is, like, who the hell did, like, who are you? You know, like the naming being a left-wing magazine called the Jacobin is the equivalent to having a right-wing magazine being called the Klan. Like, and you're gonna bitch about Hulk Hogan so you can like be edgy and act like you're pro-labor. Yeah, I wonder why the left can't get any votes, because you're literally shitting on the grave of an American icon just to jerk yourself off. You fucking pieces of shit, man. Like, fuck you. Like, seriously. Anyway, so that was like, that just really pissed me off before I got on. But like I can get into talking about like his yeah, you tell him, Noel. I don't know where to start, if I should talk about like his professional or personal stuff. I'll start off with like talking about, let's just go attack the elephant in the room and start talking about the personal stuff. Like Hulk Hogan, like I said, he is the most famous person in a world of con men. Like the professional wrestling world is built on carny thievery. The whole idea is you put on a fake fight to take people's money so that you watch the fake fight. And then you have to try to out-scam your promoter of the fake fight, who's also trying to scam you out of your money. And in doing that, you also have to try to protect your spot in the card so that you can make the most money out of these people. And that is the world that Hulk Hogan walked into of his own free will, because he loved the art form of professional wrestling. And he just knew that that was the game he had to play if he wanted to be successful. Now, does that mean that he was right in everything that he did? Absolutely not. Does that mean he was the worst person backstage ever? I mean, I wasn't there, but by various accounts, absolutely not. I never believed Hogan to be a racist. Some people just say stupid shit. That's a whole other thing that I want to get into, and I'm going to get into that, because just the sniveling, stiff-necked grandstanding, like, I can understand. I don't want to get off on this tangent here, because this is a whole other tangent that I need to talk about. Okay. So, like, Hulk Hogan, when he got to be number one in the 1980s, like, he was like, okay, I'm the biggest wrestler of all time. Everyone is making a ton of money with me at the top. And by various accounts, Hulk Hogan, like when people were his friends and his family, he wanted to take care of them kind of within his power position while maintaining his spot at the top of the card. And that's why you always had, Brutus Beefcake and Jimmy Hart and the Nasty Boys and just his kind of entourage following him around, and Hulk Hogan always trying to get his friends jobs wherever he went because he wanted to take care of his crew. And that is, I think that's a very, good thing about Hulk Hogan. And, and Hulk Hogan was, always kind of like, he was like one of the guys, but he was also on like a level above, a lot of time he'd like have his own dressing room and stuff like that. But, by various accounts, he was a cool dude backstage. As long as I think he felt you were not a threat to him. I mean, obviously Hulk Hogan, I think, felt that, and he certainly wasn't alone by this. Dusty Rhodes, Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels, I mean, all wrestlers do this. They're like, well, what's best for business is me being the main character. And, so, like, he did stupid things like not wanting to work with Bret Hart at WrestleMania. And that was a huge missed opportunity, because Hulk Hogan's match with Great Muta is my like all-time favorite wrestling match. And Hulk Hogan really would have been able to show American audiences his technical chops going up against Bret Hart. Now, maybe some of that's on Vince McMahon for maybe kind of playing Hulk and Bret off each other. Maybe he could have managed that better and should have managed that better. But Hulk needed to get over his own insecurities. But again, it's his livelihood. He's the ballerina that doesn't want to age off the stage. The other really egregious thing he did professionally was not wanting to lose clean to Sting at Starrcade 97. That was so incredibly unprofessional and just dumb. And again, it wasn't necessary because everyone, Hulk losing would not have hurt him at all. Everyone knew that was what was good for the storyline, was that to finally see the bad guy lose. And then the next story would be the Empire Strikes Back kind of thing, But, Hulk is someone who is just, I think he felt like he earned a spot and he has to do what he has to do to stay on top. And that was his mentality. With the wrestling union thing too, it's if you take the whole, Jesse Ventura was right. Wrestlers should unionize. But, from Hulk's point of view, it's well, things are working for me. I don't want anything to change, and that is a selfish thing to do and say, but you're in a selfish world, dude. People are stabbing each other in the back, left and right over there. So, again, it's very much like a kind of a den of thieves mentality where you have, one foot in the hopes and aspirations of the people, and you're doing charity work, and you're granting dying kids their last wishes, and you're just destroying your body for the entertainment of the working class. Not that they're voyeuristic, but just because you have a synergistic relationship, you love them and they love you, and your sense of meaning and purpose comes in performing for them, and just doing that and just sacrificing your whole body and your mind for that, is an immense, almost immeasurable gift. But then what you do backstage to be able to survive at a high level is something else. And, I don't know, man. There's definitely better ways to do it. And, you deal with the consequences of your actions. Yeah, was Hulk Hogan perfect backstage? No, but he certainly, I don't think, was exceptional. And I think in some cases he was just, a good guy and a good mentor and a cool friend. And in other cases, he was just trying to stay on top, like everyone was doing. Everyone had their own hustle, their own game, and he had to out hustle the hustlers so that he could stay on top. And and I think everyone kind of knew and understood that, that's the game, and I think a lot of other wrestlers, a lot of time when they talk about Hulk Hogan and his creative control, it's hey, good for you for getting that, man, So that's, I think, the criticism of Hulk Hogan, professionally. In ring, he was great. He knew how to work. He knew how to do a Japanese style match. He knew how to be technical. He knew how to be athletic. But at a certain point, he also just knew crowd psychology so well. His last big match with Sting at, was it Slammiversary 2012 or something like that, where Hulk fought Joker Sting. Hulk was very, very limited physically, but he could do so much with so little. Just the way he would just cup his ear, or just kind of work and manipulate the crowd with, his mannerisms and his gestures and what he knew how to do was so good that he really didn't have to do much physically. At that point in his career, he couldn't do much physically. But his crowd psychology was fantastic, and just his charisma and his connection to people. Yeah, there is a big difference between Hulk Hogan and Terry Bollea, but that's always kind of the thing with pro wrestling, though, is that there is this kind of, pro wrestlers are method actors, right? And their pre-wrestling persona, is a foundation for their character as a wrestler, but then who they are as a wrestler bleeds back into their real life And that is just kind of how professional wrestling is. It's this smudgy relationship between fantasy and reality, because it's half real athleticism and half simulated performance fight, and nobody, like, everyone is in on the fact that it's a performance, but at the same time there's also that game of suspension of disbelief when it happens as part of the genre. So there is like one foot in fantasy and one foot in reality, and I think that goes with these characters, and the people who play them and become them, good and bad. Now, but I mean, as far as like the good, I mean, Hulk Hogan is known for just doing tons and tons and tons of like Make-A-Wish stuff, performing for troops, and just, I mean, he died because of all the surgeries he ended up getting, and he ended up getting so many surgeries because he destroyed his body wrestling for so long. And who was he doing that for? Yeah, he did it because he loved it and he did it for money, but he also did it for like the fans, because they were the Hulkamaniacs, they were the people that gave him, just energy and love, and he sacrificed his body for them, so, along with other wrestlers too, but like that can't be understated. Like, you're going and you're breaking your back, like literally, like hundreds of days a year, and then you're going to go visit dying kids, and then you're going to perform over in like countries at war and stuff like that. It's like, dude, I mean, give the guy some fucking credit, I also want to talk about the whole like racist, accusations too. Like, I'm just kind of like baffled. First of all, like, what he said was dumb. I mean, it was dumb and it was wrong, but like, he has apologized for that constantly, right? And it's just people just don't want to let it go, like, I don't understand how someone can say something stupid in private 15 years ago, or even more, I think over a decade ago. And like, that is going to be like hanging over your head forever. And some people have said like, oh, well, Hulk told the wrestlers like, hey, watch what you say on camera. Yeah, watch what you say on camera, because you can apologize till you're blue in the face. And nobody's going to care if it's on camera, because that's going to stick with you forever. And so also watch what you post on the internet too, so that's not, I don't think that's him saying, oh, I don't care that I said something, racist, which, who the hell says racist stuff when you're having sex? Like, what is that? I mean, it's just so stupid, but like, okay, he said something stupid in private that was never meant to be done publicly. How many people talk shit in their own homes? Like, yeah, I'm sorry, like, we're all supposed to just be surveilled all the time and have our thoughts and our words like monitored for public scrutiny. Like, what is that? And you apologize for it like constantly, and it's like, no, you didn't mean it. Like, so that's just bullshit, man. Like, I mean, I get it if you're Nick Darling, considering wrestlers used to wrestle way more than they do today. Glad his body lasted until it was 71. It's seriously, especially considering like he put a lot of miles on his body doing stupid stuff. Like, not okay. So you have like the legit wear and tear of the job, but then like they were all doing coke and they were partying and they were doing steroids to help their physiques, and so it's like, and plus you're putting all that weight on your heart on top of that, so it's like the fat, like Eddie Guerrero, like, just dropped dead in what, his 30s or early 40s, God forbid, and and Hulk made it to like 71, and I mean Ric Flair, like, it's a miracle that guy's still alive. With all the, like, he survived plane crashes, he survived comas, he's constantly like drinking, like, but he just still finds a way, so God bless. But Hulk is, considering all the mileage he put on his body, like, he is very lucky that he made it as long as he did, but it doesn't make it any less sad. But yeah, man, it's like, I just, And then the other thing, people like, so it's like, yeah, so like what, you say something stupid and you have to be punished for that for the rest of your life. I mean, I do kind of get, like, if you're like a black person and you looked up to Hulk and that really hurt your feelings, and you're really disappointed, like, yeah, I understand that. But again, at the same time, if someone says they're sorry, like, I mean, yeah, it's up to you to forgive them or not forgive them, but it's just, I mean, everybody screws up, and I don't think it's fair to refuse to forgive someone who's constantly asking for forgiveness. Now, the other thing people have complained about was, like, oh, well, his politics were just so bad. It's like, what are you talking about? Like, what, because he endorsed Trump and did a speech at the RNC? Like, The Rock did a speech at the RNC for who? George W. Bush? The guy who went and killed 1 million people in Iraq? Like, that, you give that guy a pass? But, like, so, like, I mean, like, legit, 53% of the country voted for Donald Trump. Like, what is your problem? What, he disagreed with you on politics? He liked a politician you didn't like? And when he was endorsing the politician, he never said anything that was like, oh, well, I really hope they deport a lot of illegal immigrants who aren't harming anyone, and hope they separate their families. That would be great. Like, he wasn't saying that. It's like, oh, I really hope Donald Trump grabs more women's crotches. He wasn't saying that either. Like he was saying that Trump survived an assassination attempt. Trump, according to him, represented like a kind of a return to form for the United States in terms of stability after the disaster of, senile Biden and blockhead Kamala Harris, And, and to be fair to Trump, his first term was pretty good. We didn't have any new wars and the economy was good. And Trump displayed a lot of bravery surviving that assassination attempt and, getting up to try to tell the crowd he was okay. And he was someone who was the victim of malicious prosecution by both the intelligence agencies and the mass media. And Hulk Hogan found that impressive, and he endorsed him at the RNC, and you're gonna bust his balls for that? What the hell is that? Along with over half of the country who voted for this guy, and so Hulk's got to be punished because you disagree with them on politics? That is really, really freaking stupid, I would be, hang on a second, what are you saying, John? I would fight it off if someone tried to put a surveillance camera in my apartment. Yeah, dude, yeah, for sure, man. The surveillance state is not what you want. So, I mean, this is kind of the criticism that, Hulk, against Hulk, like that's my response to it, right? I mean, I'm not dismissing it, but I'm saying, like, within context, that's how I analyze it. And, there's things that he's done where I'm like, dude, you really shouldn't have done that. But at the same time, like, I mean, people are human beings. They make mistakes. You can separate the art and the artist. And, all people are complex, and they have good sides and bad sides. And I think because Hulk was like that, he was able to be so effective at playing the good guy and the bad guy. But Hulk always seemed to like Hulk. I think I like Hollywood Hogan actually better than Red and Yellow Hogan. But, I think Hulk definitely liked playing the good guy because of how it rubbed off on his personality, and I think he felt it made him a better person. I mean, as far as his career, like I said, I mean, he is both the 80s and the 90s and even the early part of the 2000s. Like he was always bigger than the business when he was on that 25-year run. So, yeah, man, I don't know really what else to say. I think just his positives, definitely, I think mean a lot more to people than his negatives in terms of the impact he had, both in terms of the genre of professional wrestling, the kind of the ideal that he put forward professionally in terms of the quality of his performance, what he meant to people emotionally, what he represented in terms of what people could look up to and aspire to, and just some of the genuine kindness that he displayed to his, you know, his family, friends, and peers. There, you know, that while that might not have been 100%, I mean, it sure meant a hell of a lot to me. So, you know, and he also had awesome facial hair. I recognize that your facial hair is the same as Hulk Hogan's. It's a little different. Like, I have actually at times dyed my beard black just to try to look kind of like Hollywood Hogan. I do kind of have like, I have just like a kind of an angular kind of chin strap mutton chop. I try to just kind of have some nice contours to my beard. But I always do I do kind of have the Fu Manchu vibe, you know, so yeah, man, that's, those are my thoughts on the passing of the Hulkster. So, I was pretty shocked. My friend's son,